Hello YouTubers, hopefully I can do this in one take. I'm going to talk a little bit while I demonstrate something that I think is of paramount importance for us preppers who drink coffee, cafecito, Bustelo, for me Starbucks, or a lot of people talk bad about Starbucks and they are a Greenpeace place, but I had a manager. Just so you know, this is a manual coffee grinder. A little view. This is the top. Of course, the filter and whole beans. Hopefully you can see me. But basically, if you don't have power, or let's say a shift event lasts long enough for it to exceed your power generation capabilities, or you run out of fuel. I should have done this in the kitchen. This thing is being a pain. Anyway, having this would be a really good thing. I used to have an electric grinder. I don't know where it is. I kind of got out of the habit of always grinding my beans fresh. I used to do it non-stop when I was in Washington State, which is where I discovered Starbucks. Actually, I discovered Starbucks in Texas, but back then I was not the kind of coffee person I am now. I had, so do this real quick. So basically, I fill up the top of this little thing here, and you have a thing, you close it. And the process takes about 10 minutes to grind everything. So while I grind, I'm going to talk. This little screw up here allows you to adjust how fine or coarse the coffee is, and like I said, it takes about 10 minutes to do it. So while I'm sitting here doing this, and I know it's going to be noisy, but I'm going to talk a little bit. So I've made great strides in my prepping. I had some things happen. I have a car that's getting ready to quit, and it took me about 6 weeks to decide what car I wanted to buy, and then find it, and then I had financing the whole time. But that is a bad deal financially if we start having economic problems. But bottom line is, the car I will be driving later today has started blowing blue smoke. So the rings are, if they're not, they're going to be shot in it here in the not too distant future. It used to only be on startup. Real quick, about 10 or 15 turns, and then that gets you your first batch. Like I said, it takes about 10 minutes to do it. So some people will, I got an electric grinder, I don't need that. And I would say, as long as you got power, you're right. But as they say in prepper world, 2 is 1, 1 is none. So I need to find my electric grinder. I've got one somewhere. Like I said, I got out of the habit of grinding my beans. Back to what I was saying, I'm a Starbucks drinker. I haven't really found another coffee brand, and I've said this on YouTube, and people sent me a bunch of names to try, and I just never got around to it. So, back when Rudy from Alaska Prepper started talking about Brazil and the crop failure because of the freeze and stuff, I went and bought about 15, 16 pounds, 15, 16 big bags of Starbucks coffee. I've gone through some of them, and then where I was buying them at, they stopped carrying those size bags. So this is actually Starbucks Christmas blend, and it's okay. I mean, they had one year that I just absolutely loved because they change the recipe every year, and I'm not a fan of that. I think they need to find one that works and stick with it, but they don't. But again, it's about coffee. So it's something I discovered in 1992 when I was going through back then what they called the level 2 for non-commissioned officers course, which is basic non-commissioned officers course. It's for people going from E5 to E6. And then I decided that I wanted to try to do something else and put in a warrant officer packet in '93, and then got accepted. And, coffee became my best friend. Long hours. But back to the thing about a lot of people like Starbucks is green peas and this and that, and they are. And I don't like some of that. Not some of it we do need to at least consider. But anyway, there's a lot of people who won't drink it because of their stance on things. But I had a manager at a store that I frequented in Washington State the first time I went to Iraq that donated expired coffee to my wife. She gave sometimes as many as 10 pounds a week. And, so maybe 10 pounds in a month. I don't know. I had coffee. I had a box show up at least once a month with plenty of coffee. And that wasn't a corporate thing. That was a store manager supporting us. She actually asked to see me when I got back, and she was very supportive of the military. And the second time I went to Iraq, the first time was 03-04, the first Stryker Brigade out of Fort Lewis 32 SPCT. The first time I deployed a Stryker unit, and the second time was in 09-10 with the 1st Cavalry Division. So let's just say I think this is like a big deal. Like I said, especially if you don't have electricity. And then the other thing is, a long time ago, coffee didn't show up ground. It showed up as whole beans. So, for years, you had to have a grinder because, well, you had to grind your coffee. And I'm going to give a plug to the store. I don't even know if the label's on here. It's not. There's a store called Jack's in Ocean Park, Washington State. I don't know what to compare it to. I could spend hours in the store looking at stuff. I think we picked up 2 washboards, like manual washboards, and I want to say 2 pails. 2 big, heavy gauge aluminum, heavy gauge galvanized steel pails. I still have one.